It finally leaked the Rams' new plan on how to succeed on the offensive side of the ball. A deep dive into that, as well as a new position battle to go over heading into training camp. All that and more on this episode of Rams Digest. And welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. And before we get into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers by training camp. We just hit 3.84 thousand. So we are 160 exactly away at the time of me recording this to get there in 6 days. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Click the bell right down below. Turn it to all. Press all so that you do not miss any daily new Rams Digest uploads covering all things Rams. And you're notified whenever we post. And now to the main story of today from Sports Illustrated Rams. Just about how this new offensive plan is going to work for the Rams. And they have some key players that they need to be able to get this done. And we're going to get into that right now. And this player is about Terrence Ferguson and the tight end group. And Sean McVay's immediate reaction to drafting Terrence Ferguson on April 25th was unmistakable, as we have a short little quote from McVay himself to go over. A little 12 personnel now, Tony. Now, Tony was someone who was helping him film a Behind the Grid documentary series for their drafting. A little 12 personnel, and for us, that's a little preview into what exactly the Rams will be running. And if you haven't figured it out just yet, it is more 12 personnel styled offense, and we're going to get into more of what that means right now. One aspect of that vision is the ability to use more formations with two tight ends, especially near the goal line. Ferguson and veteran Tyler Higbee will figure to give McVay a new chapter of play call options, whether utilizing Kyren Williams out of the backfield or even capitalizing on mismatches Matthew Stafford sees with Nacua and Devontae Adams. Ferguson, assuming he's able to attend training camp, amid the NFL's unprecedented lack of second-round players under contract, is the candidate most likely to enjoy a breakout season, according to Rams insider Jordan Rodriguez from The Athletic. Yeah, I totally agree with this. Terrence Ferguson, again, there have been a few new second-round pick contracts today, all ranging from within that 70 to 90% guaranteed. Well, another tight end, Mason Taylor, just got his Jets deal, and it was $9.56 million guaranteed out of $10.46 million. So we'll see how that goes. We're not going to really cover that subject until Terrence Ferguson signs, or if it's announced he's holding out, just because we've kind of covered it a lot. And if you want to stay tuned for that, make sure to like this video, as we're less than a week away from training camp. So hit a like button on this video. But yes, I totally do agree with this assessment of Ferguson and Higbee as a duo. I really like this duo of tight ends. We've seen a lot more teams going to the 12 personnel. We saw the Broncos add another quality tight end in Evan Ingram, someone to look out for in fantasy this year, by the way, if you're playing fantasy. But again, the Rams with these tight ends are going to be able to call more plays, and that's how McVay wants to really be able to spearhead this new form of offenses. We have a quote from Jordan himself in his article from The Athletic. To be clear, Rams coach Sean McVay finally has to commit to a significant increase in 12 personnel for Ferguson, a rookie second-round pick, to truly emerge this season. Rodriguez wrote this week, but the offense has trended that way at times, especially last season, and that is from Jordan Rodriguez himself, and we're going to get into what that means right now. Rodriguez said that 82% of McVay's 2024 formations were 11 personnel, run back, one tight end, and three wide receivers, but 15.5% had two tight ends, and that was obviously before the Rams took Ferguson with the 46th overall pick. And from weeks 15 to 18, this is important, according to Rodriguez, McVay used 12 personnel noticeably more often, and LA was 3-1 over that stretch. Its only loss was a meaningless season finale in Seattle, where everybody rested. So do we really don't even count that as a loss, but yeah, I totally agree. The Rams are going to use this more. I do think, like the beginning of this article said, more so at the goal line rather than going down the field, because I do believe that they can get some more big plays out of Devontae and more big plays out of Puka. I don't see a way where Kyren doesn't run for at least one rush of 30-plus yards this year. That doesn't seem likely to repeat itself for the lack of 30-yard rushes last year into this year. So I see this offense being overall explosive, and then in certain situations using the goal line more. And that 15.5% from 2024, I would say would go up to around 35-ish%. I don't think it's going to be 50, but I do think around that 35% mark is something that Rams fans can look forward to. Higbee, who missed most of last year recovering from a brutal knee injury late in the 2023 season, also could be that breakout player, especially with defenses expected to focus on Nacua and Adams. Either way, Ferguson's arrival gives the Rams their most dangerous pair of red zone targets from the tight end position during the McVay era 2017 to present. I totally agree. The Rams outside of Higbee have never really had a solid tight end option. I don't believe Jared Cook was still on the roster by the time 2017 came around, so it's really just kind of been Higbee. That had Gerald Everett for a little bit, but he didn't really pan out into exactly what the Rams wanted it to be for him, and now he's on a different team. And so for Higbee, having someone like Ferguson is going to be so key to really diversify the offense, call more plays, run that 12 personnel more, and also to take a load off of his body, because Higbee is 32, going on age 33. He's in the final year of his contract, coming back from an injury. In 2023, his last healthy year, 47 catches, 495 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. Again, they had some injuries there, and Stafford missed a couple games in there, here and there, so he could have been playing through some lingering injuries. But now with everyone coming into this season healthy, I do expect that touchdown number especially to go up from Higbee, from Matthew Stafford. Last year, the Rams' 52.38% ranked 25th in the league in scoring touchdowns on possessions inside the 20-yard line. The year before, they were much better at 63.64%, fourth in the NFL. Still, Higbee and tight end Davis Allen combined for just 3 overall touchdown receptions that season, 2023. When the Rams won the Super Bowl in 2021, Higbee matched his single-season career best with 5 touchdown catches. However, the Rams ranked tied for 16th in the NFL with a 60.0 red zone conversion rate. Now, part of that was because Cam Akers was out for most of that year as well, and when he came back, he wasn't really himself, because I do believe he rushed himself back from that Achilles injury. But now the Rams have Kyren, Corum, Jarquez Hunter. They're going to have the 2 tight end sets that they're going to run more, that I do think will allow for more mismatches, even if it's not to go to the run game, more mismatches for Puka, Devontae. If they can get Jordan Whittington running some different routes in the slot as well into the end zone, I do really believe that touchdown percentage, I think, can go back up to that 61-62% mark. And if it does, this offense has a chance to be a top 3 offense in the league. I already think it's top 10 for sure, but I definitely think top 3 is the ceiling. I don't see a world where it's better than the Bengals offense. That's the one offense that I do think they cannot compete with. But comment down below right now. What do you think your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the 12 personnel route that the Rams look to be taking in order to help diversify the offense? I agree with it, but let me know down below. And let me know how big of a role Terrence Ferguson can play. This is assuming that he is there for training camp fully and he gets his deal done. What role will he play? As we actually have another quote from Jordan Rodriguez to go over right now. Sorry about that. The Rams ran 12 personnel on offense on an average of just 5% of the offensive plays in 2023. Veteran tight end Tyler Higbee's return from injury across that period gave McVay 2 healthy starting caliber tight ends. He has reiterated his hope for his offense to be more multiple in 2025. Yes, we have gone over. That is the entire plan, and I do think that that will be the case heading into this season. And that really is all for the 2 personnel, not 12 personnel, excuse me. And I want you to know and leave a comment, what do you think about this topic? I think it's very important, especially given the way the Rams want to run their offense, be more versatile, because we saw how versatile the Rams were back when they had a guy like Gurley, and haven't really had a playmaker like that since who can match the run game with the pass game. And now having these 2 tight ends, I do believe they can do that with the receiving core of Puka and Devontae. The whole offense as a unit, I expect to be firing on all cylinders. And now we have a bit of a position battle to get into here for this Rams team right now. And it is the tight end position, because outside of these top 2 guys, it's a battle to see who's going to get that 3rd and potentially 4th tight end spot. And this story is from Rams Wire. And the Los Angeles Rams tight end room got a big boost this offseason when Terrence Ferguson was drafted in the 2nd round at 46 overall. The rookie steps in as a potentially impactful player in year 1, but he won't be handed the starting job, not with other veterans already on the roster. Now that Higbee is healthy and Ferguson brings some youth, there's a lot of excitement about the Rams tight end group. Sean McVay and Snead have even hinted at using more 12 personnel this season to keep defenses on their toes, as we've gone over, and I am very excited for this group as well. And the roster locks Tyler Higbee and Terrence Ferguson. Higbee and Ferguson should be the top 2 tight ends on the depth chart and are locks to make the team. Higbee is the savvy veteran, while Ferguson is the young athletic weapon who could really contribute as a receiver early on this season. Some more notes now on Terrence Ferguson. Some outlets have him listed at 6'6", 230. Others 6'5", 247. He's age 22. 591 yards, on 43 catches and 3 touchdowns. Although 13.7 yards per catch which is really rare for a tight end. He's able to really move down the field, and that's what made Sean McVay really fall in love with Terrence Ferguson as a draft prospect, was his ability to be able to move down the field and create some bigger plays for a tight end. And he ran a 4.63 40 at the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, which was the fastest time among tight ends. And he also has the Oregon School record for receptions and touchdowns for a tight end, 134 catches and 16 touchdowns as a tight end. So I do believe he will make a key impact. And a guy likely to make it, who we haven't really talked about much on this channel, is Colby Parkinson. Parkinson seems like a logical trade candidate, with the Rams standing to gain nearly $8 million in cap space if he's traded, but there's also a chance he could be cut. They'd save about $5.25 million if he's released, which is preventing him from being a lock like the other two players above. Yes, I do agree with this. I made a video a little while back, if you missed it, go back and watch after this one, of players who could be cut, and Colby Parkinson was in that video because of his contract, and we're actually going to get to some of his stats here coming up right about now. And for Colby Parkinson, he had 30 catches for 294 yards and a touchdown. He's 26, actually younger than you think. He is 6'7", 265, which is a big body tight end and could be potentially used in the blocking game, though he was not great as a blocker last year. As a third tight end, he's fine, but they had to overpay for him because of the Higbee injury. But now, picking Ferguson, he is left with a bit of a weird role on this team. And on the bubble guys, we got Davis Allen, Anthony Torres, and Mark Redmond. The Rams could roll into the season with only 3 tight ends, but they may choose to go with more depth by keeping one of the other 3 tight ends in this category. Allen is entering his 3rd season, so he has a decent chance to make the team, especially being a former 5th-round pick. Torres and Redmond are both undrafted rookies, and they play a position where it can be difficult to make the 53-man roster in year 1. Yeah, I think Davis Allen is the only guy here that has a shot. Just because, again, that familiarity he caught a touchdown in the wildcard game, actually, against the Vikings, if you do remember that. So he's been a playoff performer, caught the touchdown to make it 21-7. So I can see that happening. And why this is so important is because if the Rams do go with that 12 personnel more often, which it looks like they're going to, there's a high chance they need a 4th tight end in case one of those guys gets hurt. Because if you're running that 12 personnel more often, you need really 3 guys who are capable of running that 12 personnel effectively so that you don't really miss a beat. And in case you need to sub one of them out as well during the game to give them a quick water break, that even for a couple plays, you just want someone who can run that set while keeping Stafford protected as well, because that blocking is going to be so important in that 12 personnel set, I should say. And that is the one thing about Ferguson too, is he does need to work on his blocking to run the 12 personnel more effectively. And if the Rams do keep 4, it seems much more likely that they'll give Allen another shot by keeping him over one of the other 2 undrafted rookies. Yes, I totally agree with that statement. And a position battle to watch is Higbee versus Ferguson. Higbee will have the edge on Ferguson to begin camp, and that's likely due to remain the case entering the season too. He's just more experienced and showed late last season that he still has some juice. But Ferguson has the athleticism and skill set to stand out in practice and earn more reps as the season approaches. There will be some situations where Ferguson is on the field and Higbee isn't, and those are reps that he needs to take advantage of. Yes, I 100% fully agree with this statement as well. Again, this all depends on Ferguson being in camp, but as of now, we have to assume that he is there. And I do agree that Ferguson, I do think, has a chance with a strong rookie year to push Higbee out of Los Angeles after this year. I think Higbee will stay regardless because I think he's a very good mentor and a positive role model. Not just for Higbee, but for a lot of different players. For Ferguson, I should say. But he can definitely teach Ferguson a lot about what it takes to play the tight end position at a very solid level here in the NFL. It's going to be important for that 12 personnel set that both of them can work effectively in. Potentially, Ferguson, I could see, if he has a really strong year, replacing Tyler Higbee as the starter towards the end of the season. Comment that down below if you agree or not. But I believe it's going to be more of a tight end 1A, 1B situation. Both are going to get a pretty equal amount of reps at the position. And a potential sleeper, there really isn't one. There really isn't a sleeper at tight end. Parkinson and Allen are both established players who won't sneak up on anyone, and the 2 rookies went undrafted for a reason. It'd be great if Torres or Redmond can shine in training camp and in the preseason to earn a spot on the team, but that does not seem possible. Yeah, I agree. I just don't see a world where either undrafted guy gets on the team. If they do go with a 12 tight end, or 12 personnel set, I should say, I do see the Rams potentially keeping 4 tight ends, and one of those guys could end up on the practice squad, which is fine for me. Again, practice squad guys to me, if you're good enough to be on the practice squad, cool. If you're not, unfortunately, you are cut from the team. That's how the NFL works, and it doesn't hurt to keep a tight end on the practice squad. So if one of those guys does ball out, I could see that happening. And that is all for this episode of Rams Digest. Thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 4K subscribers by training camp. Just 6 more days to gain 160 subscribers by 11:59 p.m. on July 24th. So do not miss that deadline, as we will look to hit our goal by then. And make sure to turn on that notification bell. Click all so you do not miss when we upload daily new Rams Digest content covering all things Rams. And you'll get notified when we do. Leave in the comments down below your thoughts on the 12 personnel system and what it means for the entire Rams offense. And what position battle are you watching in this tight end room? Comment that down below as well. And how important is it for this tight end depth to be strong? Leave that in the comments as well. Like this video for us being only 6 days away from training camp. We're really getting into it. The offseason is almost over. Training camp season almost underway. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh, as always. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Rams Digest. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for another one, and have a great rest of your day.